GM Farcaster. It's Monday, January 22nd, and you are here with Adrienne and Noutish Prof for 21 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love your background. It's fantastic.
I love your background.
Yours is easier to see. I should have done it that way. I didn't even think of that. So this little background is actually alpha. So if you look, it's kind of cut out around the penguin. It is a sticker that I'll have available at ETH Denver. It is one of my little pudgy penguins with noggles, and we're going to have it be our Denver mascot. So ETH Denver, getting very excited for that, making plans. I'm still working on breakfast karaoke. But I think I've got it.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I think I've got it figured out. Honestly, I found a place. It's a whole thing. So jump in the GM Farcaster channel if you're not already in there. If you're going to ETH Denver, I'm going to post something later today and just, shout us out, let us know so we make sure to keep you posted on our plans. So excited. So excited. And you may come. We don't know if she's coming yet, but she might.
So what was it? Was it 2 weeks ago I was at 0%? I went to about 5%, 10%.
Where are we at now?
Over. I think. Oh no, we're at 95%.
Are we there? All right, this is exciting. Oh, because the other part we forgot to tell you guys this. So we are officially have our media passes. We are officially media. We are officially press. We're going to be there. We're going to be able to do all the press things, and we're going to have 2 hours reserved in the podcast area where we're hoping to do a bunch of interviews with anyone who's building something on Farcaster. If you're going to be at ETH Denver, come talk to us. I'm going to have a schedule out there probably in a couple weeks to really nail that down and get people lined up so you can come chat with us, and we'll do some live streaming from ETH Denver. So really excited about all that. So that's what we wanted to shout out right at the top here today. And I can't believe we're making this happen. I can't believe you're coming.
It's so exciting. And obviously, I mean, we can't get official press passes and me skip it. So I'm
this has been a very I've really done a good job of getting her here. I'm like, no, I'm just going to put your name on this application for a press pass.
Very sly.
If you can't come, it's fine. I'm just going to book this hotel with 2 bedrooms just in case. So it's worked out pretty good. So very exciting.
You're very manipulative. If we can call a spade. Okay, but it works because our goals are aligned. So I'm happy to be there.
It works.
For anyone who's not met Prof in person, you have to make a point to come find her at ETH Denver because you cannot meet her without her giving you a gift.
And I was going to say, and I will definitely have these. Absolutely. These, I will have stickers. I will have pins. By the way, if you are a holder of any of our podcasts, if you are one of our supporters, I will have hopefully a little cute little pin from Wizard Pins too of this little penguin. So that'll be waiting for you. Yes, there will be presents. I do tend to do that.
She will have
gifts.
Which
is really funny because gifts are not my love language. So don't try it the other way around. Doesn't really work on me. So funny enough.
But I kind of want to ask what your love language is, but
it's words of affirmation and physical touch. So there you go. But don't hug me. I don't know you. Don't hug me if I don't know you. It's only for people I know. Anyway, okay, we got to move on to Outcasters this week, which was awesome. And a few things they did do for Ghostlinks did for Snapshot 028 was a small challenge. I will give 200 warps to the first person who correctly guesses the guest curator for this week. The winner will be announced right after we publish later this evening. I was not allowed to guess because I was in a group chat about this. But also, let's talk about the active users because I'm back on the list. Woo-hoo. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. And I have to agree with Tim Dobb on that. I'm not, as he likes to call it, the list of people who spend way too much time online. That's fine. I'm good with that. And the actual Outcasters is incredible.
Prof, I have to correct you. It's Tim Dobb does not say this is not the list of people who spend too much time online. He says this is the list of people with mental health problems.
That's right. Sorry. That's right.
It's a
And
little
also
harsher.
true. Also true. Also true. I don't disagree, sir. I'm happy to be on the list with all you others who are crazy like me. So Outcasters this week was amazing. It was curated by David T. Fung of The Park, who I adore The Park. So it was amazing. Also just incredible playlist. He put together a playlist. So if you don't know The Park, they're a musical group, collective who do Fridays at the Park, Happy Friday, and they get together, they make some food, and they play some music, they record it, and then they drop it as an NFT. And it's a pretty amazing experience. So he created a playlist to go to listen to while you look through Outcasters, and I highly recommend doing it that way. It was very cool. Really enjoyed this curation. So great job, David T. Fung. Go give a look and take a listen. You haven't had a chance to look at it yet, right?
I've not had a chance. I had a busy Sunday evening.
When you
So
do,
Outcaster
set the
came out.
music. Set the music. It's really
I,
good. It's a good way to listen to it. It's a good way to look at it. So
I will do
Um,
that.
and I loved the suggestion. That was DeWoofy's suggestion, and it just timed out really well with the fact that David was doing this particular week, and he's a musician, so having a playlist while you take a look at Outcasters, great plan. Loved it. So
And
give it a look.
David is a national treasure. So
National,
he's a gem
he
of
is.
a human being.
Agree.
So I'm super excited to see what he curated this week.
And go collect it. You can go collect the image, the cover image, and it's pretty amazing. We've got a few other pieces of news. We had an image upload problem. Investigating image uploads not working on Warpcast. This is from DWR. For now, you'll have to describe the visual you want to include. And let me tell you, that got funny. I liked Cassie's "Please Scream Inside Your Heart.jpg." It got pretty funny, I'll just say. It didn't last very long, but literally all of us posting, casting. Can anyone else upload images? And I was trying to upload this particular image at the time, as a matter of fact. So it was driving me crazy because I wanted to share it and I couldn't. I actually wanted to share it in a group cast, which means I had to in a group chat. So I had to cast it somewhere so I could put the link in the group chat, and I couldn't do any of that. And it was making me nuts. But anyway, it's back. We don't know what the
It's
problem.
fixed.
It's
And we
fixed. It
don't
didn't
know.
take
Yeah,
long.
you don't know what you've got till it's gone. Take
It's
away
true.
images, and we panicked. It wasn't. It
Did
wasn't
not like
pretty.
that. Don't like it when you take things away from us. Um, Also, I loved this post from Dan. Instead of lobbying Warpcast to add a feature, I'm guessing video, people should be using clients like Supercast and consider paying. Way faster to get a feature prioritized at this point, and good for Farcaster ecosystem more broadly. Warpcast is not going to be max configurable anytime soon. And I liked this other part he talked about. Personally, I love apps with settings. I want as many knobs and toggles to customize my experience. The harsh reality is we have to make Warpcast even simpler, smarter defaults that, through revealed preference, drive DAU growth and retention. Otherwise, the protocol ends up as a science experiment, which I thought was interesting. And there was another cast where Dan had mentioned that he wants all these settings and toggles and everything, and Varun pulls him back from that. And I love hearing about their partnership and their co-founder experience because of that sort of balancing of each other, which I think is very interesting. And I see similarities since
Oh,
we tend to be a little different, and in the good ways, in
are they?
all the
Are
good
they mind
ways.
readers? Are they also mind readers?
Yes, they would be right. She literally reads my mind. It's really fun. I'm like, we need these stats, and then like 2 seconds later they appear casted. I'm like, oh, thanks. Perfect, thank you. So yeah, it works out well. And speaking of Rune, the sign in with Farcaster FIP has been updated with the latest changes. Last call for feedback. So sign in with Farcaster. I think that's via is part of a larger scope of being able to build this out in a lot of different ways. So for the developers, that's some news for you. What were you gonna say? Did I cut you off there?
Well, on the who's
The
in
chat,
the
which I'm not
chat, they
paying
want to
attention
know
today.
who's DWR and who's V.
Oh, DWR being Dan
No,
Rivera.
of the two of us. If we are
Oh,
if we are
like
similar,
what?
No.
Who are you people? You should know who they are.
Actually, but maybe some
I
people
don't
don't.
know.
Since
I
you don't
think
do
I'm more
artists,
Dan and you're more B, but I'm not sure. I think we might be a mix of both.
well, that's what the chat agrees, I think.
Yeah. I don't think we're one or the other, but I think if I had to pick, probably. Probably that way. She's back there pulling me back a little bit in the good way, like really, or saying really that arch. I don't think so. By the way, I think that's still I didn't pull that cast, but there was one about if Dan created the world and it was all his original logo, which was
Oh,
really funny.
that was on Friday. I meant to do that as my background. It was one of the funniest casts I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, we'll
So
have to pull
I'm
that for
sorry we didn't
tomorrow.
bring that up. It
We'll
was
have to
very
pull that.
funny.
In other news, well, this happened. I love this from Kunal, I think it is. A post from Vitalik on Twitter where somebody is talking about Vitalik Buterin has to append every reply with sorry for ratioing because immediately afterwards, a deluge of sycophants, crypto bots, and followers rains down on the post with tickers, memes, and expressions of praise. And all the OP can see is ETH and Sol for 3 days. And then Vitalik responded, "This is part of why I do most of my tweeting on Farcaster these days. Sorry for ratioing." I mean, you gotta love that Vitalik has a sense of humor and played right into it. But also, then somebody asked him about, "Didn't you mean casting?" And he said, "No, I meant tweeting on Farcaster." We're like, okay.
Yeah.
So, Vitalik, we love that you spend more time over in Farcaster. Please continue that. That makes us all very happy. And you can also have like an actual conversation with him. So, it's kind of fun. And I'd say that about lots of people who hang out over here. Coop,
Oh,
I
which
thought
brings
Coop,
up
yes.
last week, and I don't think we may or may not have pulled it, but YB wrote an
Yes,
essay
we did not.
about, maybe
It
we
was
pulled it on
it was
Friday.
in the
YB
links. It
wrote an
was in the
essay
show links, but we did not get to it. And it was
about
fantastic.
why Farcaster, and he talked about the arbitrage. If you're an
Yes, the
early
Farcaster
user,
arbitrage.
mhm, and you have the ability to, make an impact and but also kind of like talk to and have like conversations with, we'll call them
Amazing
celebs.
gigabrains,
Hmm.
right? The crypto celebs, the gigabrains. And that was kind of along the lines of what Coop said. FC is the new YC. And his next tweet was similar and said, "I don't understand. I kind of wild that more people aren't taking advantage of the unparalleled upside of being early to Farcaster. Extremely active on chain social network with bright founders, next gen builders, and early signs of real alpha. It's the best way to get in front of crypto natives and build a brand for the next bull market." And I think, somebody I had mentioned recently that yeah, I'm spending more time over on Farcaster. I'm building things over there. It's why I'm building it is because of that reason. But I do think that most people who are here do get it, and that's the reason they are building here and they are spending more time here and all of those things. So YB's essay was beautiful. Loved it. He's also been minting a lot of our episodes. Thank you. We appreciate you. And he shouts it out. He'll talk about what he minted that week. So we appreciate you, YB. I did think that was great. But what do you think that Farcaster is the new Y Combinator? That's my question to you.
Oh, no. I mean, come on. No, of course not.
Why? Why is it
Okay.
not?
But well, by now you know my philosophy on life of anti-scarcity. So the idea of
Okay.
okay, and also, and I really like the idea of like, can we make Farcaster something net new? So let's not try to
Okay.
repeat something that already has been
Exists.
done and existed. Um, can there be multiple Y combinators? I mean, what does that even mean? So
Okay.
I want to look forward. I'm here because I believe in the philosophies and creation. So um,
I do think it
and
is. So I'm going to say, but I think it is with all of your caveats. So I think it is, but in a new way. And what I mean by that, I think it's an incubator. I don't think it's a social media platform. Like, definitely none of those words make sense put together when you're talking about Farcaster. Social network makes sense, definitely. But to me, it feels also like more than that. And it feels like an incubator. So if you think about an incubator for tech startups or anywhere, like the big, the things that you get from that are You get an opportunity to share your ideas and get feedback on it in a timely fashion from people who really know what the heck they're doing. You might find a co-founder in an incubator. I'm just saying. Um, you know, all of those, the co-working, the feedback, the senius aspects of it, all of that to me feel very, the only thing that's missing is funding. And you even have some of that. You even have some of that. You have Purple, but you also have people who've met investors on Farcaster for what they're doing. So and you have Linda offering, you know, $50 session for feedback, who is a, you know, VC fund person. You know, it's incredible. So all of that to me just feels like very incubator-ish and not really just a social network. So that's my
Yeah.
thoughts
Well,
on that.
I mean, obviously I'd agree. And it's a scene.
It's a
So
scene.
it's seen, and
It's a
therefore
scene.
you can incubate. It's, you get a lot of the genius activity.
Yeah.
So
And that to me is an incubator, right? Like genius is
yeah,
another word, really a different, better, cool way of saying incubator in my mind. But, you know,
right. And
I think
then
it remains to be seen what happens with a lot of these projects, but I feel like that to me is where it feels like, at least at this moment, and which makes it
and
really
I
fun.
think yeah, and I think when we're trying to figure out like why aren't more people taking advantage of this?
Yeah.
Why, right? Because I keep pinching myself as an early like this, it just feels like such a unique, special place. I'm so grateful. It feels like, whoa, why don't more people do this? And it goes back, I think, to the theme we bring up a lot about missionaries versus mercenaries.
Yes. Yeah. I've been thinking
And
a lot about that lately too. Yep.
so the
That's funny.
people we connect with here, we're missionaries. We're here for a reason more than,
Right.
kind of capturing someone
A
else's value.
monetary,
Yeah.
yeah, opportunity or something. Yeah, totally. And I've been thinking about that a lot, missionaries versus mercenaries, and I hadn't thought about it in that GM missionaries, love it. Um, it's you know, it's something I hadn't thought about before, but it's something I think about a lot now since Dan said that, and then it like has sparked other conversations around that, and you can really see it within this ecosystem. You can see the people who are um, they're here building on Farcaster because they love it, and then like if there's an upside, great. And I see that a lot, even in the DGen channel. When you see, you know, what's happening there, it's really different than what you see when a meme coin drops on Twitter. It's huge, huge difference. So
Huge.
there's like there's just a very different vibe, and I think that's, you know, what we need here. So it's really
By the
interesting.
way,
Yeah.
the
The
chat
chat's
is
like
very, very
popping,
active today,
popping. I
popping,
can't keep
and
up with it. You guys are like
on
it's awesome.
on the YC comment, it's like
Yeah.
at this point, I think it's also there's YC, early YC, and then
Yeah.
there's kind of late stage YC, and YC today is, as Link says, it's basically it's like here's the playbook for building a VC backed company,
Right.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe we're maybe early stage of like,
We might be YC 20 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good point, a really good point. What it is today is not what it used to be, for sure. A few more things that we want to shout out before, because I'm looking at the time going, God. I love this from I Speak Nerd. I did some channel analysis on the Farcaster Aristocracy, so you don't have to. Ted by Ted, thoughtful discussions on a variety of topics. Cameron by Cameron, ADHD mess of no context means and good founder advice. Steve by sdv.eth. Steve. And then it's pretty accurate. But I did think that was funny. Jam Friends had an AMA with Cassie about the Hunger Games. And I did want to talk about the Hunger Games real quick before we wrap. And then Dan talked about Cassie's Hunger Games and group chat idea and some other ideas about games and different ways to use group chats for gaming. And I did want to just talk about the Hunger Games. We haven't had a real chance to talk about it since it ended. So I was in the second round of the Hunger Games. I know Lynx was in the first one. DeWoofy might have been in both. DeWoofy was he the winner? No, VK was the winner. VK was the winner, but they were the last two standing, and there was a psyops that went down. I saw it coming. I just couldn't beat it. So I ended up in the last four at the end of the second one. So just to tell you what this was, group chat, you start with 64 people plus the person running the game, which is Cassie. and then half go each time, each vote. And it was a 24 hours to vote. So it was interesting also listening to her compare the first group and the second group and how they were different. And a lot of that might have had to do with time zones because we had more spread out. And it got really interesting to figure out how people were voting and who you should vote for and what's a good strategy. And my strategy in the last couple rounds was vote early and then be really quiet and hope that people forgot I was there. So I don't know if it worked, but I made it till, third place. So I'll take it. But it was a lot of fun. And the thing that surprised me is that I got to know some people that I either didn't know at all or that I knew from other places and didn't realize they were on Farcaster. And that was really fun. So the activity itself it had many benefits and it was a lot of fun. So if she does this again, I definitely recommend jumping in. It was a lot of fun. So there you
Amazing.
have it. And I also am a big fan of Survivor, so it was very Survivor-esque. There was a lot of that same kind of gameplay. We are at the end of our time. Chat, you have been awesome. I have to go back and look through everything because I missed a lot, but you guys have been just holding it down today. Amazing. Speaking of, I want to start giving away some things to our chat. And I'm gonna randomly take everybody who's in the chat right now. If you have said anything, I'm gonna throw you into a little random generator, and one of you is going to win. I think the park. I have one of the recent park drops from Yellow Collective's drop, and I am going to send that to one of you. So we shall see. And anything else before we wrap? We had a bunch of other stuff. There will be a bunch of other links in our show notes that we did not get to. We do have a different schedule this week, so I want to make sure you all know tomorrow, randomly select links, randomly sell links. Yes. So we're going to be on at 9:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, and then Friday is 11:30 a.m. Eastern with Johnny Mac, nonlinear. And did I miss anything, Adrienne?
Yes.
What?
Yes, you did miss something. First of all, I'm very sad. So I'm traveling this week, which is why we're on Tuesday, not Wednesday. We'll cast about it because everyone will forget. And I'm unfortunately not able to make the Friday with nonlinear, which I'm so sad about.
Forgot something big that they're shouting out in the chat.
What?
This is our
Well,
50th episode. This is our 50th
Oh my God!
episode. We totally forgot.
Well, the other
Thank
thing
you,
we forgot
chat, for reminding us.
Oh my God! Happy 50th,
Thank you,
Prof.
Arshad. Yeah, happy 50th. This is our 50th episode. We made it to 50 episodes. This is mind-blowing, especially if you were here for episodes 1, 2, and 3, especially 3.
We're still having technical issues at 50. Let's be honest, we're not. But
we're not quite there. We're still
God.
doing the shitty version. Let's be honest. But that's
really
okay because we're doing it consistently. So happy 50, Adrienne. I'm so excited we made it. And we're going to try and hit 100 while we're at FarCon. We might have to do a few things to get there because it's going to be really close. So
did you do the math?
Yeah, I did the math and it would be May 15th. So we're going to have to do a couple extra episodes in April and we'll get there. So we might have some extra special episodes thrown in here and there to make sure we can hit 100 when we're at FarCon. But anyway, happy 50. This is amazing. We made it. Thank you, chat, for reminding us because we totally forgot. And now we get a rocket ship to 100. Exactly.
Wow. I mean, the other thing I was going to mention, which now just sounds super lame, is since Friday, I claimed my DGen.
Yes.
So
we are going to talk more about that tomorrow, and we're trying to maybe get a special guest on. So we'll see if we can make that happen. But we will talk a lot. Let's talk about DGen tomorrow, because there's been a lot going on there, and it's just a really interesting. It's very different from any other meme coin I've ever seen. I'm also in the DGen DAO group chat. It is different from every other group chat that I'm in. It's really kind of amazing. So tomorrow we'll talk more about Adrienne's journey to degenning.
It's been
fun. And that is
you
it.
seeing me transform right in front of your eyes.
It's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. The
It's
things that
fun.
have happened. We do have to give out a shout out to our sponsors really quick. Monkey D Links type of Arjan Tufan, Yes to Crypto, and then our CLPs Wake, Lens Post, Farkiver, which will be next week, and Justin this week. And we did a little blurb in our recap all about Quid.li, and we will talk more about that later this week. And that is it for us. Adrienne, have a lovely Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, not Wednesday, tomorrow. So we'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to talk about all things degen. So we'll see you then. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.